Mick?
Dan?
Mick!
Dan!
Dan! Mick!
Steady boys, we've still got the screen. COVID regulations still in place. Sorry.
Hello, and welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here. Hello.
And we're back in the room! Come on!
Oh, the majesty of rock.
Indeed, the pageantry of roll.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Number one. Most importantly. Number two, the sheer seismic shift of your rock there, Dan, caused the fated jam ripple
Fall off.
phaser to fall off.
It was bowing.
Yeah, great things. This is a sign of some kind. Thankfully, it didn't fall on my Collings at the back there, my acoustic guitar, which is here, and I've managed to ding it once already.
Or the
since
Murphy
it being
Age
here.
Les Paul.
Yeah, well, I'm less worried about that, to be honest. It's already relicked, isn't it?
There you go. Brilliant.
Okay, welcome. This is our first show back since October.
Far out, man. Seriously.
Simon is here.
Hello.
Simon is here. In all his splendid glory.
In all his splendid glory. Yeah, we for those of you not aware, England came out of its travel ban lockdown a week or so ago. Was it a week ago? A few days ago, doesn't matter. And so yeah, we're here, we're working, we're filming again.
Yep.
And it feels good.
First full Friday show back. So good.
So
good.
in typically TPS shambolic style, and if you're joining us for the first time, you'll soon get used to this.
Yeah.
We're just going to amble through a chat of what we've been up to, what we've been doing. Have we discovered anything? We've each got kind of three things to talk about, maybe, loosely. But Dan, how have you been?
I've been good. It's been a really interesting, strange time. But no, I've been good. I mean, you know, everyone that I know, yourself included, has been crazy busy trying to, you know, moving things on. I know a lot of people who've been not so good. You know, I haven't got the Rona at this stage. Hopefully, I'll have my jabby Jabson soon.
Yeah.
But no, I've been really good.
Yeah,
Really
roughly
good.
50% of the people who are at TPS have had the jab so far.
Right, cool.
the 50% that haven't is me and Dan. And hopefully we will before too much longer. But anyway, let's not dwell on all of that.
No. How have you been?
Great. Yeah, I'm just really pleased we're back doing this again.
Me too.
And we hope you are glad that we're back doing this again.
I hardly slept last night. I was so excited about getting back in the room. Seriously.
I wanted to
I kept waking up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, like, it's time to get up yet. Can I go yet?
So I have the great advantage of being here pretty much every day anyway. And so when I want to do a vlog or anything or play, I can just come in and play loud. So it hasn't been that much of a stretch for me. But for you, so Dan lives in a town. He has neighbours. You've been recording. For those of you who maybe haven't kept up, please watch some of the vlogs that we've done since October, November, which have been really interesting headspace for both of us.
Totally. I've come to have a whole new level of appreciation for you and Simon for editing. It's like, oh my God.
But I think what's been interesting about it, and I hope we'll reflect on it a little bit today, is the different headspace that sort of being forced to think a bit differently about the kind of stuff that we make
Totally
has done. And I think some really interesting stuff has come out, and some really worthwhile creative stuff too.
Yeah, and so and also has given us some direction for moving forward as well.
Yeah. Which we'll also talk about in this video. But so we're back. We're gonna be filming regularly from now on, assuming that everything progresses well with the easing of restrictions, and hopefully before too much longer we can take this screen down.
Indeed.
It's there because it's difficult for us to maintain 2 meters social distance while on camera, so that's why it's there.
I feel like I'm at Waitrose.
Yeah. How much?
Very good. Very good. Okay, so what should we kick off with then?
Well, we thought we'd, what have we discovered over lockdown? What's been interesting? What's been occupying our minds? How have we had to do things differently, and what have we learned as a result? So we're going to pick, ostensibly 2 gear things and a technique-y thing each to show each other.
Okay.
Go on then.
All right. I have the CXM 1978 reverb just set up on MIDI, and I'm going through some presets, and I sort of discovered this by accident. Now I should have already known this, but it was like when I heard it, I was like, whoa. So on our very first ever how to get great solo tones video,
back on the old chat,
in the old room.
Yeah.
We used a really short delay.
Yep.
Which helped bring everything forward. So what happened was the reverb kicked on, and instead of it being a short delay, it was a reverb with a bit of pre-delay, no reflection time, no depth time. So, right.
Before he demonstrates this is Dan's latest pedalboard. He spent ages building it, and there will be a vlog on it.
Coming soon.
You better just have a quick look at that as well. There won't be much light under there, but... oh my God. So yeah, Dan will do a whole vlog on this pedalboard soon.
Yeah.
Sorry, as you were, mate.
Yeah. So let me just right. So the amps we've got today, Mix 2 Rock, and we're using the Victory Copper 35 watts.
VC35.
VC35. There we go. So so if I just stick this on. So what I'll do, I'll get that sound, and I'm going to bring the reverb mix right down, okay? And then I'll start bringing it back up again. And you'll hear that thing that we normally use a short delay for.
Yeah.
The reverb is wonderful for it, because what you get, instead of just a... Very good.
I'll do it.
Okay, brilliant. Instead of just getting that slapback thing, you get... It's this reflection that you get. So all I've done is I've turned the reverb time basically off, and the crossover basically off. right? So this is gone to a different preset now.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And you can turn the mix up and down, turn the pre-delay up and down, and that will change that initial delay time.
Okay.
But instead of it just being a repeat, it's just that single reverb reflection.
Yeah.
Okay, so go back to that sound again, and then if you can
Yep.
mess with the mix and
I'll do the mix
pre-delay.
first.
Yep, yep. Isn't that amazing? And so I don't know why I'd never thought of it before, but the fact that it's a single reverb reflection
Yeah.
has blown my mind.
Yeah.
I've fallen in love with it.
Okay. What I want you to do is I'm going to turn the CXM on and off. I'm going to do a blind test, Dan. I'm going to see if you can, because we know the internet is a real fan of blind tests. I'm going to turn the reverb on and off, and I want to see if you can guess where you are.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your blind test.
Okay, sure.
Okay, blind test. Where are you?
I'm in the TPS studio.
Okay, try this. Where are you now?
I'm in the village hall now.
Ha! No! Totally got you. Welcome to the lamest blind test on the internet. That's mega.
Isn't it amazing?
Oh god.
I'm going to be using that for everything now. It's going to be, until I don't. But wow, I just, for whatever reason, the difference between that, for the short delay is obviously great, but having that just single reflection, far out. I'm in love with it.
Super cool. Interesting that you said Village Hall, because that, that roomy, hally sound
Yeah.
definitely reminds me of being 15
Yeah, right.
in the empty Village Hall. You know.
with it, because there's nothing on the walls, and it's such a hard,
Yeah.
flat, yeah.
And a killer sound. Yeah, it's cool. It'd be good to hear that. I know we've done some recording whilst we haven't been doing shows, and I definitely use that the short room reverbs on pretty much everything.
Wow.
Really love it. It's a really addictive sound. I can't wait to try it in a band mix.
Sure.
Just to see where it sits and how it sits.
Sure.
It's so cool. It's addictive.
Absolutely.
It's addictive. Okay. I've got a couple of tone things as well, but we'll stick my board on there for that because.
Okay.
Actually, no, let's not. So the first thing I want to talk about, Dan, is as you know, while we weren't together, I did put some new pickups in the casino.
Yes.
If you haven't watched this vlog, I can't touch it, mate. Separate lead.
Okay.
For anyone finding this ridiculous, try not to get too upset, all right, with the not touching things. I think Dan and I are probably exposed to one another at this point, but
we're being good boys.
we're trying to be good boys.
Yeah.
We're trying to set a decent example, is all it is. However possible that is.
That's serious, man. Not to bring everyone down, but we've known a lot of people that have had it. My wife's uncle passed away from it.
Did he?
So it's it's a serious thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thankfully, we're. No, I'm just not even going to talk about it anymore.
Okay, done.
So, obviously, there's no comparison here because I can't put the old pickups back in. The very, very short history of this guitar is I bought it on eBay for 270 or 290 quid, I think, when Dan and I did the budget rig challenge at the end of 2019.
Right.
And I bought it because we had to acquire some affordable gear, and I didn't want to just buy like a cheaper Strat or a guitar that we already had because it just wouldn't get used if that was the case. But what we didn't have was a casino type guitar.
No.
Or indeed a casino. So I bought it and then promptly plugged it in. And if you watch that video and indeed the vlog that I did a couple months back now, it didn't sound great. It was really lacking presence. I mean, it definitely had a funky thing going on and you could certainly use it, but it wasn't a sound that I was really loving. And in addition, the pickups had gone extremely microphonic. So uncontrollable feedback that was that can be good in some instances, but in the instance of this guitar, it wasn't good. It was uncontrollable. It wasn't harmonic. It wasn't in any way musical.
Right.
There's still a lot of feedback. The new pickups haven't cured the feedback, but it's a different kind of feedback and it is a bit more usable. Anyway, you have not heard this guitar other than when we just plugged it in to get some levels up.
Sure.
It's a different thing.
Really?
What have we got? Just a clean sound?
Just nothing straight to the amps. Unbelievable.
Isn't it a totally different thing now?
I would have had no idea that was the same guitar. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's so present. And I can hear the pick. I can hear all the dynamics far out.
Yeah, I mean, I was deliberately...
Changing stuff.
True story, literally never plugged it into those two amps with whatever Dan had to... What did you turn on there?
Page.
It was just the
page.
Kingsley Page into the two amps. One of the amps has got reverb on it. And deliberately switching through the pickup combinations, turning the tone pot down, turning the volume down. The gamut of sounds available in this guitar is Well, it's really surprising, I think. And what
What's
you
it like
heard,
to what's it like to play now?
I love it.
So the weird thing is when I did the pickup thing in one of the vlogs we did, I put a set of everyone else pickups in a Squire.
Yeah,
The biggest surprise to me was how different the guitar played after I put the different pickups in.
no way.
It just, because it was reacting so differently, like the sound coming out of the amplifier, it changed the way the guitar felt to play.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Well, we talk about that a lot, don't we, on the show? Regular viewers will know about that. You know, the playing the guitar is a continual process of what you're putting in, what's coming out of the amp, and then what's hitting you and the guitar again, and how that's all interacting in terms of at the ultimate extreme. And you heard me doing it there. I'm sort of trying to find notes where the guitar resonates, and some's just dead, nothing, and then semitone up from that. It's like, and off you go. And necessarily, you might consider that a great flaw in a guitar because it's not even, or it's not uniform in some way, or it's uncontrollable. But actually, if you are lucky enough to play the sort of music which enables you to stretch your legs a bit and be a little bit freer in what you play, what happens then is it kind of informs what you play.
Yeah.
And for example, I mean, I've heard lots of people say this about guitars, that this is a G guitar.
Yeah, right.
Or it's a G and C guitar.
Sure.
It's not really an E flat guitar.
Right.
Which is, contentious. I'm not sure I've ever gone as far as that, but I've heard people say it.
Right.
But yeah, you might go, wow, this works really well in B flat, and that's where the particular thing comes together. But whatever you're playing, that continuous feedback of what you play, amp, bit of overdrive, and obviously at its ultimate end, it's feedback, it's harmonic feedback.
Sure.
But I think it happens way before that. I think it happens with clean tones,
Totally.
where you get that harmonic kind of interplay.
Yep.
And I think that it explains in part why the guitar feels different to play, like you said.
Yeah.
Especially with something like a hollow body. Like Simon and I are always laughing. We're saying, it's so worth doing upgrades like pickups on a hollow body because they're junk anyway, really. It's a 3-ply laminate of fairly cheap wood, pressed. So even like a posh hollow guitar, certainly a laminate, ES style guitar, is a fairly rudimentary thing sonically.
Sure.
Or at least it has a particular bunch of resonances and attack and sustain that I think, whether the guitar costs whatever an Epiphone Casino is these days, £400-500 maybe, or a £5,000 custom shop ES335, there is a commonality in what those guitars do. Anyway, blah blah blah. I'm really pleased with it. I think it's got the quack back.
Yeah, right.
So I went onto the middle position there a little bit, and it's really...
It's so funny, man, because unless the pickups are right, middle positions don't work. I find personally, my 65 has got the best middle position sound. I don't really have that with this guitar. It sounds fine, but when you hear where the pickups are really balanced and awesome, Taylor.
I don't know the answer to this. Our telly's normally reverse polarity, so it hum cancels in the middle.
So yes, the newer ones are. I don't think the really old ones were. Now my 65 is here, but it's been rewound, so it is hum cancelling.
So it is RWRP.
It is at the moment.
I got a text message from Dan Drive late last night. He's like, "Oh, something's really on my mind. Do you do RWRP or not?" And my answer was, all my guitars have got it, but no old Strats have got it.
Yeah.
And retell the story. Where's the horn, Dan? Dan and I gave up with the horn for a minute there.
Yeah.
Because
really upset.
We lost it.
In so many ways.
Yeah, we found it again. So, horn, welcome back.
There it is.
Talking to Johnny Marr.
Far out. No, well, yeah, nice one.
That's a good horn, isn't
Yep.
it? And again, I won't labour the story, but he had done some work with Bill Puplett and Fender when they released his Jaguar.
Paul Stacey keeps mentioning he builds for me.
Does he?
Yeah. This is amazing.
And they developed the pickups of bare knuckle, and I also talked to Tim Mills about it as well. And they were convinced that the pickups had to be the same
Yeah. Non-reverse.
polarity and wound. Otherwise, the guitar just didn't sound as good in their opinion. So, sorry, a bit of a tangent on RWRP there.
Yeah.
Why did we start talking about that? Oh, yeah, because you were saying the pickups.
Yeah. And so I'm getting, I've got an old set in that guitar that I'm getting rewound, and I'm going to get them back into normal,
Yeah.
you know.
Fascinating.
But yeah, it's a thing. But you were talking about the middle position of your
Yeah,
guitar.
it just quacks.
Yeah.
It quacks in a way that it didn't before.
Nice.
Lovely. Yeah, so really pleased. For anyone who doesn't know, they are standard Lola dog ear P90s that went in there with a wiring loom from a British company called Six String Supplies, like high tolerance 500k pots, some really nice paper in oil caps, and yeah, it just sounds like
Jason Lola
sounds great.
everything I've heard that he's made, I've gone, my ears have pricked up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
really clever guy.
Simon's little lockdown present to himself was a 54 custom shop 54 gold top with P90s, which we'll see on the show before too much longer. And it arrived with a wiring fault, didn't it? Which he's like, sent me this text message. I could feel the tears through the text message last night. So we're going to
so authentic vintage.
Yeah.
It arrived with a
doesn't
wiring
work.
fault.
So when
Awesome.
when we fix that, it'll be really interesting to hear that guitar and how much you love the Gibson pickups, or whether you want to stick something else in there at some point. He's nodding.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah, thing one from me. You finally got to hear the Casino.
I'm so impressed.
I think we'll be playing that guitar a bit more.
Yeah, I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
It's great. You've given up any hopes of removing all the finish off it?
Yeah. I spoke to, again, this is all in the vlog, but I spoke to Scott at SC Relics in Northern Ireland there.
And he said, no way.
I could hear the shaking in his voice when, when I said, I want to refinish a Casino. He said, I did one just recently, and it nearly done me in. So, but it sounds great. I don't think it needs to be refinished. It sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased with it.
Magic.
Yeah.
Magic.
And did you notice that it stayed in tune for at least 4 or 5 minutes there? Whereas when we first got it, I hadn't touched the guitar in probably 6 weeks.
Right.
And it just wouldn't stay in tune. But then
Amazing.
it's bang on. They need a bit of love, guitars. It was like, what? You want me to perform now? After nothing? Not even a dinner?
So, I've discovered this microcosm pedal from Hologram. Hologram's had a couple of things out that I've really enjoyed, and this is like a yes. So they've got
Infinite Jets.
the Infinite Jets. This is like an amalgamation of all their greatest hits, I guess. It's one of these things that you can just stick on and just. I can spend hours. It's ridiculous. Just
So is it obviously it does some sort of looping and hold function.
yeah. So it's like a granular looper, all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to do a deeper dive on it, but I'm really enjoying. I guess the point of this is I'm really enjoying stereo
Yeah.
with these sorts of sounds at the moment. We haven't done a lot of stuff on stereo,
No.
but the more I get into these pad type, atmospheric, ambient sounds,
Yeah.
the more I'm finding having that spread, it increases that experience of being sort of wrapped in that sound.
Sounds mega. I mean, I hope I'm able to do the audio in a way that does that justice. It was fairly quiet compared to some of the other stuff we've been doing, so I'll try and bump the levels up a bit. But it just sounds colossal. It's almost meditative.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that actual sound leads you to do things, leads you to play.
Yeah.
You hear, because it'll. If I just hit any chord and just let that sustain for a couple of seconds. Where was I on? No, here. And the more interesting information you put into it. So if I play, so that was just a really simple chord, right? If I play a chord with a bit of extension on it. So I'm getting lost in that. And I'm finding the stereo experience to be pretty incredible.
You might be minded to say, well, where on earth could you use that? You know, lots of people going, well, just get lost in the mix and the audience don't care, therefore there's no point in using it. You know, that old chestnut, which Dan and I have been talking about. Number one, I think it'd be great on the front of Johnny Be Good, just before. No, but in all seriousness, in these times of isolation and maybe not being able to get out and play with your mates or whatever, what a meditative and contemplative thing to be able to just create those textures and really get lost in it.
It's really beautiful. I've been enjoying it so much. But I'm getting into that stereo thing, adding the reverb, doing the, having a modulation on one side of the stereo. So I have a stereo delay and the hologram in stereo, but the harmonious monk on one side. So that's something we'll be exploring in future shows. But
really cool.
Just loving it.
Really cool. We've got a backlog of new stuff actually to check out, so we're going to get on to that in due course.
Sure.
But there's so much stuff that we've got out there that's new and interesting that we need to delve into. Okay, my other tone thing is going to be my pedalboard, and we'll put that on in a minute. But in the meantime, there's a technique thing I want to share with you, Dan.
Oh, please.
And it's not much of a technique thing, but it was a revelation to me. So this I was gassing for a Collins 290 single cut. So I've got my double cut there, the junior type guitar. this one.
Amazing guitar.
And they do a single cut version with 2 P90s or 2 humbuckers, and I was really gassing for one. And it was part of I really want an SG, but part of me wants an SG, but the SGs that I want are $5,000.
Yeah.
So, or at least $4,000, and it's like, I don't want to spend $4,000 on an SG. Anyway, so this, you know how it goes, right? When you start thinking about something, and then before you know it, I don't know what you're doing next. Something that you didn't start out doing. And that's definitely who I was. Anyway, I ended up on the website of a company called the North American Guitar, which is a very posh,
they're great.
very posh guitar shop in London that sell lots of really super crazy high-end acoustics and some very nice guitars. And they had a used 290 for sale. And surprise, surprise, my old mate Stuart Ryan was doing the demo.
Wow.
And I know Stu from Guitar Magazine days, where Stu's a predominantly acoustic artist, but also does lots of technique columns and stuff for magazines, and that's how we met. Anyway, he's also a killer electric guitar player. I think he was one of the teachers at one of the guitar schools as well. I want to say
cool.
ACM, but it might have been BIM. Anyway, Stu's a really killer player, and I'm watching him play this 290 demo. It sounds great, and he's playing that kind of stuff that I really like. So broadly pentatonic bass,
Right.
stepping on the toes of Eric Johnson a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Based around that kind of chord progression that I like. So little pause. We have just set up a slightly gainier sound with some
You're going to bring the rock.
little bit of delay. Well, not exactly the rock, but turn me on, Dan. Oh, fed him that one.
Yeah, man.
So Stu starts playing all this stuff that I really like, and he starts playing these fast runs.
Right.
And if you've ever listened to anyone who's got really good right-hand technique, and Eric Johnson's a master of it, playing those fast pentatonic runs, I've never, ever been able to get
No, me either.
the speed right. So I'll do it without the amp on a sec. So if we're going up this sort of minor pentatonic with an extra minor note in it.
Okay.
That would be the pentatonic, right?
That's the pentatonic, and you're adding a ninth in there. 9, 3. Yep.
So it's D minor based around D minor pentatonic. I don't know if Simon can get in on my right hand here. The way I thought, and this, if you already know this is nothing new to you, right? And it probably isn't anything new to you, but it was new to me. I'd always assumed that. Sorry, I have to put the guitar down into a more comfortable position. I'd always assumed that the action was an up and down thing.
Yeah.
And a kind of,
Yeah.
And if I do that with a gain on, it'll sound really scrappy.
Okay. Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's all right to me.
It's not too bad.
Right.
But then when you try and build on the speed there, and okay, kids, playing guitar is not all about speed, but sometimes it's really nice if you want to just, once in the set, do a bit of a diddly widdly.
Yep.
Given that that's not my thing, right? Anyway, I watched Stu's right hand, and some people call this economy picking, and forgive me if I don't have the terminology correct, because I'm not a guitar scholar, despite having edited about 20,000 guitar techniques articles over the years. It's instead of everything from the wrist, like, or even just, there's a kind of an up and down motion required.
Yeah.
Stu, I noticed, was pushing from his from his thing. Now, it's taken me just a minute just to get here, but what I was finding was that depending on whether I started in on an upstroke or a downstroke, the phrase was easier. And it really helps if you've got a pick with a slightly sharper edge on it.
Oh, right. You going straight?
Which I don't, but anyway, I'll use my regular pick just to prove it. And it takes a minute just to get the in and out action there. But bear with me while I work through it. And let's see if I can play it cleaner with all, because there's a lot of gain, a lot of delay, right? So it's quite a difficult sound.
Okay. Ready?
Yep. Sorry, it's like listening to someone pulling teeth out, but I spent, I don't know, half an hour working on that. And by the end of that half an hour, I can see why now, like technique-based guitar players, people who really play with a lot of technique, need that considerable warm-up time before they play. But I'm gonna stick with it and I'm gonna work on it.
So you're instead of using your wrist,
if you play the phrase a sec.
Are you going?
Play it straight up and straight down. So for anyone else out there, if you look at the notes on my right hand here, here's the notes we're playing.
Okay.
So then play it straight alternate picking.
Right. Yep.
Slow.
Sorry.
Now build speed.
So you've got two notes per string, and so you get the turnaround, which is 3 notes. And then you're starting on the upstroke. So you're starting on the downstroke, then upstroke.
Yeah. So
Okay,
what I want you to do now is play it starting on the downstroke twice through. Now start on an upstroke. And now, instead of doing that, instead of moving your whole hand, push the plec in.
Wow. So it's so weird because my wrist isn't moving at all. Oh man. So you can see. Wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
If you've got any thoughts on that, comment below, and you might have the correct term for it. And I'm not saying that it's the right way to do it or anything like that. I'm just saying I wasn't able to build any speed or accuracy going in my normal hammering picking action.
Do you do is it circular or just straight up and down?
Straight up and down, but I think once you get into the flow, maybe it changes a bit.
Okay, I shall be spending time on that.
Yeah.
Very good.
I know it's a bit whatever to be worrying about this stuff, but
No,
what I found is that there's a couple of bits of recording I did Can't remember what it was. Maybe it was one of the tracks in one of the vlogs. Might even have been in the Harmonious Monk video where I actually used it. And
Right.
I was able to play with what I considered to be, on it.
So you know what's really interesting about that? Who's the guy that does the really microscopic detail picking videos? He has all these incredible animations in his videos.
Oh yeah, the guy that unpicked the Eric Johnson thing.
Yes.
Yes. Apologies, I can't recall his name.
Oh,
but
come on, brain.
their name.
Anyway, I saw when I was editing one of my videos recently, I saw my right hand technique, and it was all this action. It was like a big swinging U thing, and I thought that can't be right. And I saw a video on him, and he's going. And he's one of the first things he said is, if you look at your action, you're doing this, you're wasting a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think that's where the whole discussion around economy picking comes from.
Right.
And I think economy picking also discusses whether you're better to start on an upstroke or a downstroke, depending on what the next note is.
Okay.
So
fascinating. I would love to be able to play fast.
Try it. I kind of do for like a lick or two.
Yeah,
when
but
you do it, just do it. And it's so on, and you're all over it.
One of the most amazing things about you listen to guys who sound really fast, like Eric Johnson.
Yeah.
If you record them and you put a thing of the transient of the notes, right, when they hit the note, they are so bang on accurate. There are guys who can probably play faster, but the more in time and bang on those notes are, the faster you sound.
Yeah. Especially if you had a bit of delay.
Yeah, totally. But I heard Chris Buck played this line. It was like, whoa, and I listened back to it, and it actually wasn't crazy fast, but because it was so bang on, it was like, it makes it sound faster than it actually is.
And there are those of you watching who will be into, more technically driven styles of playing, and whether it's sweeping or all that stuff. And this is just, this is nothing compared to that. But it is, for someone like me who's a predominantly sort of hard-hitting, fairly arm-swinging blues player, to be able to bring a little bit of that
and
control.
Control to be able to do this and then go, and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because normally whenever I try anything technique-wise, I give up after about 10 minutes because it's like, oh, wow, that's ruining everything else that I can do. But I found myself a couple of times actually doing it.
Right.
Actually doing it.
See, Dave Gregory picks like that.
Does he?
Yeah, and he just has the best tone. But when he plays those lines, he's got that accuracy and.
Well,
wonderful.
It's super interesting you mentioned tone, because I think one of the other places it came from was again over lockdown. I've not been playing the Strat hardly at all.
Right.
Because I just find a Strat super hard work at low volume.
Right.
And actually that was pretty hard work because it's quite wiry sounding. But so I've been playing my humbucker guitars 335 a lot.
Wow.
Also the little Supro and Collings guitars and other stuff. But not really. The Strat hardly touched the Strat. And I think something about the dynamic. In fact, now I'm talking about it, I'm going to have to do it just to finish this section off.
Sure.
Something about the dynamic delivery of a humbucker guitar compared to a Strat.
Yeah.
And of course, you've got the extra push from the pickups as well. So the whole envelope of the note is different.
Wow.
So let's see if I can. We got that sound up again, Dan?
Yep. Unreal.
Yeah, I don't know. Just feels a little bit easier.
Yeah.
The envelope of the note is different.
Yeah.
And I'd also practiced it for a minute before. Not before I picked up the Les Paul, but I'd played it on the Strat before. So
That's great. Okay, that's my Easter weekend.
yeah,
You just chuck some chocolate at the kids. Right, on your way.
you have that. Yeah. So again, playing fast is definitely not the be all and end all, but I like to hear, if I'm watching somebody play and they're playing really nice, tasty stuff all night, and then all of a sudden they go blah blah blah, and it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Very good.
okay.
Well, look, my last one is really simple, and because we've not done gigs for over a year now. This is something that blew my mind. Basically, I've been playing 99 days out of 100. Very, very rare I wouldn't have a day where I played. And sometimes I'll be practicing for, an hour, hour and a half. Then my daughter came downstairs last weekend. And
She'd been up there all that time.
yeah, like you've grown. So she came downstairs and she had a acoustic guitar, and I pulled out another acoustic guitar, and we played a couple of songs. We played Paranoid Android, and we played Dream Brother, Jeff Buckley. No, we played Grace. And at the end of playing those two songs, I could barely move my hands. I was spent. I was in pain. Because, just that there's a lot going on. So it's different than just strumming things. However, what I found was, because I hadn't played songs all the way through,
Right.
I couldn't believe the amount of stamina it took to play a song all the way through. And then I realized, man, before we start gigging again, I've got to get these songs. And you don't realize at a normal gig exactly how much guitar playing you're doing and what that is doing for the level of fitness for your hands. Yeah. So getting gig fit before we all go back in and start doing gigs again is a really big deal.
How do you do that?
Well, I just think you've got to get the set list up and put a metronome on and just play through them and play through them. And then you've got to drink the appropriate amount. You got to load your gear in and out of your car before you do the practicing, and also have some stairs to go up and down, and someone yelling at you, no, not that way, go through the kitchen.
Don't step in the band.
Exactly. And then, drink the appropriate amount. Once you're done, stay home and watch movies till 4 a.m.
Yeah, because it's not worth doing a gig anyway. Because it's not getting paid enough and everyone hates it. Why did I pick up guitar in the first place?
Yeah, so I had no idea that would happen. Because I've played these songs so much.
Yeah.
And I thought, just play a couple of songs with my daughter. No way.
That's really interesting, that.
Yeah.
I know that if ever we've been prepping for a show or whatever, certainly the Joey shows that we did and the TPS band in general, I would always, you learn the parts at home, like you say, or wherever, make sure you know what you're playing. But then I'd always set up my full rig
at
and volume, bang the tracks through the PA so it's nice and loud and get that experience. And yeah, I know it's, I find it when singing. So if I'm, actually that's another thing. What about standing and sitting? How have you been finding that?
I find it hard to play sitting down.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, something with the way that the telly sits on me. I mean, it's all right. And I do most of my practicing sat down, but when I'm stood up, the guitar sits a bit differently. It's here as opposed to here. So I find that easier, but I reckon a guitar strapped around my neck now, 15 minutes, I have to sit down.
Yeah, be done.
Yeah.
Interesting to see how that unfolds as we do get to play a gig or two.
Definitely.
In the near future.
But practicing
hopefully.
at volume's another thing.
Yeah.
How's
it been playing today at Loud?
Heaven. Literally heaven. But before your gig start, make sure you gig fit. Practice them at volume, practice them standing up, and practice going through all the tunes one after the other. And if you haven't done this for a while, you're going to be really surprised I've got no idea what my voice is like.
Well, I did a vlog a week ago where I'm singing, and that was a struggle.
Right.
Real struggle.
I
I mean,
loved that vlog.
thanks, man.
I absolutely loved that vlog. My favourite vlog of yours, I think.
But despite, you know, all the other self-consciousness of singing on camera and stuff, and for a TPS video, which is not, you know, that's a fairly big deal. Yeah, there's just no way my voice was anything like where it normally is. And that's not an excuse. It's just reality of not singing.
Yeah.
I think, you know, playing music is like speaking a language, isn't it? If you don't do it every day,
Totally. Yeah.
you start to forget a word or a phrase or two or an inflection. And
Yep.
yeah, good.
Totally.
Well, it will be good when we can get back to it. Okay, just a quick, seeing as you've shown us yours, Dan, I'll show you mine.
Nice.
Let's do a little finger snap, shall we?
Yeah, still previous.
Dan's the in gag is that Dan's always ahead of the beat, so and I'm always miles behind. Okay, it seemed like forever since before lockdown. I was really grumpy about big pedal boards because we tried the MIDI thing at the beginning of the year, which was really great, but I was just so confused by it all, and it was that thing where option paralysis was causing me
Disquiet.
yeah, and where I couldn't, you know, don't get me wrong, it's perfectly learnable, and you would have thought, wouldn't you, that over lockdown you could chuck a couple of hours at it and just get around it, but it's been tough to find some time for playing guitar, which sounds crazy.
No, I totally get it, man. I totally get it.
Anyway, I did a vlog on, inspired by Keith at 5 Watt World, you know, how much gear is enough. And I ended up with this, which in itself is ridiculous, but there's a story there. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go back to a bigger board again. I've been trying to get everything on smaller boards, and that was doing my head in because you'd have to make real compromises in layout and stuff. And actually, I'd just forgotten the advantages that G2 or G3 brings.
Sure.
And then I used this for the song vlog I did, and just used all these pedals. Actually, I switched out the mini vent for something else. But anyway, so I thought I'd just give you a couple sounds. You should play a couple sounds. And then, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So as you can see, I'll explain to you. The Tube Screamer is in loop 2.
Okay.
The Klon is in loop 3.
Nice.
The Harmonious Monk is in loop 4. The Vent is in loop 5. The Delay is in loop 6. And the Reverb is in loop 7. In this bank, I've got them set up as Stompbox mode for everything. But in the next bank, they're set up as presets.
Oh, you got them on presets. Sorry.
Yeah, they're all on Stompbox mode. So
Yeah.
that will switch in this will switch in the Tube Screamer, for example. Next one, we got the Klon. Just need to hear my lovely two rock a bit more.
Wow.
So a little bit of honk there, which you know
Beautiful.
I like. These two are not in loops,
Okay. Okay.
just outside.
Right. Don't change anything. Don't change anything. Just plug me into that.
Isn't it good? Isn't it good?
That is something else.
So,
Oh no, I need a clone.
so
No.
there's a couple tweaks to the game to be done. I think that like the Tube Screamer is so like cloaky over everything, which
That's
I love for
lovely.
lots of things.
It's so lovely.
Just to have maybe one slightly more open sounding gain on there, but
Gee
just
whiz, man.
that to reflect on what you were saying earlier about the stereo thing. So this is a mixture of wet and dry in stereo. Or I say wet and dry. So the modulations, for example, the mini vent, which is a rotary speaker simulator, and the harmonious monk are only going to 1 amp. And just here, Dan, if you could just play a sec, just give me a chord and I'll turn the wet amp off. But the delay and reverb are stereo.
Oh boy, oh boy.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is extraordinary. What a great sound.
Pretty nice. Really pleased with that. So yeah. as we've reflected many times, in and out of that kind of scaling it back, more complex, etc., etc.
It's beautiful.
So yeah, good. All right. Well, that was a sort of fairly long meander through some things.
Will you?
Welcome back, mate.
Yeah, you too, mate. I've really missed you. I've missed this.
Me too.
And
me
Simon.
Too. Yes. The camaraderie of not having to do everything by yourself is wonderful. And we hope the wonderful TPS audience, all you lot out there, are happy as well. We've felt the spirit of community massively over these past few weeks. And I think, that extended TPS family has meant a lot to all of us. So
Indeed.
Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, and thanks to everyone that's joined us on the Monday for the vlogs, for the VCQ Live even, because that has got me through.
Yeah.
I think hanging out with everyone on Monday afternoons, it's been just wonderful.
It's great. It's like I don't know, 900, 1,200 people, something like that, hanging out, having a chat for a couple of hours.
Awesome.
It's nice.
But look, before we go, I just want to show everyone what's been going on at TPS Towers and what we've got coming up.
Yes. So let's see. We've got 3 interesting things in the offing. One is we are doing some work on the control room adjacent to this room so that we can do more band stuff. Mm-hmm. More stuff that puts music in that pedal show. We love talking about pedals. Push comes to shove, we probably love music more.
Yeah.
So more music, definitely number 1 from us and from artists. Secondly, doing that in a live format. So one of the hopes we've got is live at 5 on a Thursday, once we get everything in place.
Indeed.
It won't replace the Friday shows, so nobody panic. But it will have a frisson of live and enjoyment.
Yeah.
And we've got some plans that may develop into something a little bit more ambitious than that as well. But anyway, so that's the other thing. And then experience days, Daniel.
Experience days.
We've been doing out another room here, so that people can come and hang out for a day or something. We're not entirely sure what it's going to look like yet, but they're going to be called TPS Experience Days, where it'll be a mixture of practical stuff, learning, experience in terms of playing some gear and all of that. And they may be themed differently. So if you are a TPS patron, or if you subscribe to our mailing list from our website, thatpedalshow.com, or indeed thatpedalshowstore.com, we will be emailing all of you lot first with the option for experience days as and when they happen, obviously as the COVID lockdown restrictions ease to the point where we can do that safely.
Yeah, but that is going to be so much fun. We love nothing more than seeing people experience, like big sound, experience being connected. We've done it a few times when we've been, so I remember doing it in Germany and in the States and stuff. We'd put together a rig and just have people come and play. Yeah. And it really is. And that
just general camaraderie of being among people who are passionate about the same thing. I think
wonderful.
Again, we love doing this week in, week out, playing pedals and stuff. But I think the experience of being locked away for a little while has made us come out and go, do you know what? The need to be among humans is strong. So
definitely,
let's find a way of doing that a little bit more.
Definitely. Oh man, so good to be back.
Nice to be back. Yeah. Well, hopefully everything will continue to improve and we're back.
Indeed. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Also, a massive thank you to our preferred retailers in the UK and Europe is
Anderton's Music of Guildford in Surrey.
And Australia.
we almost forgot Matt for a minute. Yes, Pedal Empire in Australia. Please buy stuff from them. Lovely humans as they are.
Indeed. And we also have some links below.
We do. To sweetwater.com in the US. If you click on one of our links and buy something from Sweetwater, they send us a lorry full of cash and we set fire to it naked.
More money, more money.
Yeah.
Also, a massive thank you to our patrons on Patreon. Literally couldn't do it without your support. Thank you so much. And to anyone that's gone to thatpedalshowstore.com.
Yeah, we've got some new tees in. We've got
some new tees.
We've rebirthed the Relic logo tee in a green and also in a blue or maybe a black, I think. And there'll be loads more stuff to come over the summer.
Indeed. Brilliant. Thank you so much for watching. Great to be back. We'll see you soon.
Cheerio.
Bye.